Hi. Good afternoon, everybody. Myself, Ekta Sehgal Malhotra. Welcome to the Motherhood Club Talk Show. Today, we have a very, very young mother. Day before yesterday, we had the oldest mother with us, sharing her entire life experience and yet learning. And today, we have a young mother, Dr. Pariti Jain, fondly called as Pihu Jain. She has a daughter who is 10 months old. And what should I say about Pariti or Pihu? This young girl is full of talent, is very, very ambitious, is very passionate about what she does. She is a physiotherapist. She's certified for prenatal and antenatal training. She deals in books, which are educative books and fun books for children to learn. She's also a reseller for jewelry and many other things, which is more of a passion to her. So Paridhi or Pihu, as we know her, does everything with a lot of passion. You all must be wondering that a mother who has just 10 months of experience, what is it that she will talk to all of us to tell us about motherhood? Well, the journey of being a mother doesn't really start when you deliver the baby. The journey starts much, much before that. And many a time that journey is pleasant, but many a time there are many challenges that we all face. Conceive when you are comfortable. Complications will occur if they have to. It's the topic that Dr. Paridhi Jain has chosen. We will understand from Paridhi why this topic and why not anything else. Because Paridhi had had her own challenges and struggle all throughout her pregnancy. And here I would like to invite Dr. Paridhi Jain. Paridhi, please introduce yourself
Thank
and
you.
talk about your journey. I am going to call you Pihu because that is what on my mouth. Calling you Paridhi
That's
is a little awkward. So
truly
I'm going to
fine,
stick to
truly
Pihu. So
fine.
over to you. Yeah. So over to you, Pihu. Please introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself and your journey so far.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ekta ma'am, for introducing me on this platform. And I really love this platform because what truly feel is it's the only platform that is usually bringing up the great topics that has to be discussed in the society without any fear. And I am basically I'm a physiotherapist, a neurophysiotherapist, and I deal in childhood development. Plus, I'm certified antenatal and postnatal care expert. As you said that I deal in the toddlers learning material because it's my passion that I want kids to learn in a fun way, not the usual ones that we have been seeing from generations. Plus, yes, I do have a passion of jewelry and such type of stuff. That's because I guess my personality is going around such type of passionate work. So I just thought of reselling the things that I've chosen for myself because I think it would be great if I used to serve those things to the society in a nominal amount. So yes, it's my passion, but it's truly different from Dr. Paridhi's profession. So that's why I have given the name to that profession as Pihu Creations. So let's not talk about that much. So I am here to share a small journey that I have been faced during my pregnancy,
Just give me a
and will
second. There's
suggest.
some sun
Yeah,
glare.
sure, sure.
Yeah, sorry. There was some sun glare on my face.
No,
Please go ahead.
no problem. So I'm here basically just to share a journey that happened with me, belonging to the topic that I have taken for today. It's like conceive when you feel comfortable, because if complications has to occur, they will occur, no matter what your age is. Because see, I got married at an age of 22. I was married when I was just 22, and I was pursuing my graduation. But that's something different because I chosen that life. So I'm not complaining to anyone because I yes I chosen that thing to get married at 22 because I was happy being married. So after getting married, about having marriage of 2 years, we thought to have a baby, which was very natural. So in the last year, I just we planned for a baby and I just conceived out in the May. Then when I conceived out, just we went with the regular checkups to the gynec, and I came to know that I cannot have this baby because the baby was in my right fallopian tube. Hello, hello.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, okay. I was
Yes.
not able to see you. Yeah, perfect.
Yes, Pariti, please go ahead. Please go ahead. Yes.
Okay. On the in the month of May, when my gynec went with different types of ultrasounds with me, then at about approx after 4 hours of testings, I came to know that I cannot have this baby because the baby was in my right fallopian tube. So initially from morning in about 4 hours, my life got drastically changed. Like in the morning, I was happy that yes, finally I'm pregnant and I can be a mom, and it would be a super journey for me. And such type of butterflies were going on in my stomach. But suddenly after about 4 hours, I came to know that no, I cannot. I have to wait, go undergo operation because the blockage that was occurring in my fallopian tube was very high with a lot of quantity. So it was not a normal miscarriage. My fallopian tube has to be removed. It cannot be drained out. So by the night of that day only, I went under the operation theater. I got operated. So yeah, that was a very like critical situation of my life. But my hubby supported me in every situation, though we cried a lot because yes, it's somehow a stressful event that occurred suddenly. So I got discharged in about 3 to 4 days, and when I went out at my home, nothing went well. Like nothing. After miscarriage, after having operation, I kept on vomiting, I kept on nausea, and I kept on not feeling well. Not because I had an operation, but internally I was feeling that I was not well even after operation. So this took me about 1 month to get understand that yes, something is not okay with me or my body. So we again went to the gynec and consulted like why all of these symptoms are still on with me, because I had a miscarriage. Now I'm not pregnant, so why these vomitings are going on, Nozacs are going on, weaknesses are going on. Initially, my gynec told me that maybe it's because you went under operation and it was not an normal operation. So me and my husband thought, yes, okay, it was not a normal operation, so let's not take it more serious. But initially, I don't know why, but internally I was feeling no, like I want to go to the other tests. Like I was not satisfied with the doctor's answer, and I asked her to take up some other test of mine, whether to have an like check whether the operation was okay or my body is internally okay or what. So initially she refused. Like she said, no, Paridhi, everything is okay with you and there is nothing to get serious about. But because of my like my pressurizing, she took me to an ultrasound, and when I went with an ultrasound, I came to know that I am pregnant. Can you believe that? Like 1 month back, I had a miscarriage. I was not having fallopian tube, and how can I get pregnant? Because see, earlier being a doctor, yes, I know what is ectotropic pregnancy, what is heterotropic pregnancies, but these pregnancies are crore in one. So I was not wondering that I would be the one who is suffering from ectopic or heterotropic. Okay, that I was thinking ki, we haven't intimated during those days after my operation, so why this pregnancy is occurring up? Then because of my pressurizing, my doctor told me everything. Like she told me very decently that you know what, Paridhi, when you got miscarriage, we thought you have two babies at a time, in which one went into the fallopian tube and one went into the uterus. Can you imagine being a doctor? There are still many doctors in the society that cannot tell you the whole situation. She was hiding so many things from me at that point of view, at that point of time, that I was like in a complete shock that how can you do this to me being a doctor? Matlab, like there are certain types of certain types of oaths we take. See, I have also taken some type of oaths becoming a doctor. So obviously she would have taken some oaths, and that is completely gone wrong. So she told me that yes, we knew that maybe you are pregnant after getting miscarriage, because when we went with the first ultrasound, we came to know that yes, there is some kind of egg formation into your uterus, but we didn't tell you because we thought it would be drain out because of operation medicines, and because of like anesthesia they have given to me during that operation time. But I don't know, it is my luck or it is my like instinct. I have a phobia with the like allopathic medicines.
So
I
are you
usually don't.
sorry? I so are you trying to say that you were the when before the whatever procedure that they did when you had a miscarriage, you were actually pregnant with two babies. That you had,
Yes.
and the doctors could not find that out.
No. Can you believe that? Ektaman, can it is possible that being going with an ultrasound, like my whole body, my whole stomach went under ultrasound, and how can I believe that they didn't knew that yes, I was conceiving with twins. It is undigestible thing that happened with me. Seriously, if a nominal person who doesn't have any information, who doesn't have any knowledge about pregnancy, even that person gets an instant that how it is possible.
True, very true. That's
but
true.
but they made me a like they thought that I am a big fool of the society, that they can manipulate but they can't. So what happened, it was like after being getting ultrasound, I came to know that yes, I am pregnant. And the doctor asked me, how haven't you taken your medicines? So I was like, no. And she said, why, it would be a hernia or something. Manika, first you tell me that why didn't you why didn't you elaborated me my situation earlier that I was having twins? Why? She said, I was not confirmed, that's why I given you painkillers so that the baby got drained out. Her words were like that. He, after my operation, she has given me such type of painkillers that my the other baby who was surviving into my uterus got drained out. But luckily I have a phobia with an allopathic medicines. So after getting operated, I haven't taken any allopathic. Like, I really haven't phobia. I never take allopathics in any condition. I do take homeopathics, but I never take allopathics. So right now, explaining these situations to you, even I'm getting goosebumps because I don't know why, or the God was giving me a such type of instinct that I should not take medicines. And I was like very happy with my this type of phobia, that what if I would have taken those medicines and I won't be like celebrating my 10 months of motherhood today. Like, she would have been drained out with those medicines. But yeah, okay. And I had a really a bad fight with that doctor during those days. But I cannot, I cannot case onto her because of certain norms that that the hospital was following. But believe me, by today, I made it that she would not be having any prolonged patient with her right now, because like after getting my things treated out, I really worked on her profile and watched it out that I'm not the one whom she got into drastic situations. But there were many,
Oh God.
like there were many, but not with the same situations, but there were many who were suffering from such type of situations. So at that particular of time, I was in a really low mood because my operation doesn't went well. My ectopic, the situation, basically the one pregnancy that we have in fallopian tube to be called as ectopic pregnancy. So many of the parents doesn't know that there is something called ectopic pregnancy, in which the baby like grows up in the fallopian tube. And it is impossible that the baby can grow fully in the fallopian tube, because the fallopian tube is just 1 mm, just 1 mm, and the baby has to grow fully. So in case if you are having an ectopic pregnancy, by anyhow you have to drain it out, or the fallopian tube has to be removed. I knew this, but I didn't knew this that, like, Ekta ma'am, being a normal parent, you should be knowing that being getting one fallopian tube and conceiving for future is not a good option right now, because being a female, we have two fallopian tubes, and still many of us doesn't get pregnant because of some type of problems. But having with one fallopian tube, it's really the results and the like percentages of getting pregnant are very low. Like, I have seen mothers who are with one fallopian tube and getting pregnant in about 8 to 10 years. So I was really depressed during that time, that why I am, but why am I in this
Are you?
situation? But luckily, after 1 month, when I came to know that I am pregnant and I am having a baby in my uterus, so I was not, like, I was not happy, because seriously, I didn't knew that I have to be happy or something strange have to be occur. So it's not yet completed. My drastic journey haven't completed yet. There were more things to be happen with me, and those were really messed up. Because of that doctor, what happened, I just changed my gynec. I went to the other gynec, and she was in a complete shock that how can this happen to you, how your gynec doesn't knew about it earlier. We would have taken this scenario or this procedure into some other level. We would have taken some other precautions with your body. Believe me, I have 16 stitches with an ectopic pregnancy and 14 stitches with my cesarean. And right now, till date, they pains a hell, because the ectopic stitches doesn't get time to healed up, because my baby was, like, my baby was not a normal baby, because she would have given me a such type of pains and such type of like such type of situation that I cannot cope up anyhow. And after getting pregnant of 2 months of pregnancy, I was like, I generally asked from doctor whether I should be happy of getting pregnant or something strange has to occur again. So you know what my gynec told me, and that day it was like, जैसे कहते हैं ना कि जमीन पैरों के नीचे से जमीन खिसक जाना, मेरे साथ उस दिन वो हुआ. My gynec told me, I cannot assure you till your 6 months of pregnancy that you can have this baby or not. मतलब, like, I was like, why? So she told me, I don't know what happened with you on that operation. कभी कभार होता है जब हम ऑपरेट करते हैं तो यूट्रस में कोई फॉर्सेप लग जाता है, कुछ ड्रेन हो जाए, या फिर ब्लड स्ट्रीम टूट जाए, वेन्स टूट जाए, हमें कुछ पता नहीं है परिधि तुम्हारे अंदर क्या चल रहा है इस टाइम. हम बस इतना कह सकते हैं, यस यू आर प्रेग्नेंट, बट हम ये नहीं कहेंगे यू शुड बी हैप्पी, बिकॉज ऐसा भी सिचुएशन आ सकता है कि 6 मंथ में हमें तुम्हें कहना पड़े कि you have to go with miscarriage again. And I
So,
was like,
so imagine, Pihu, that you yourself are a doctor. While you might be a physiotherapist or neurophysiotherapist, but you are a doctor and you understand these technical terms, and you understand the human anatomy. You understand the body parts and everything, and yet you were made to go through this ordeal. What was your mindset at that time? That is one question that I want to understand before we proceed with your journey. And second, what is it that you would want to tell, you know, women who are intending to conceive or who are preparing for conception, that when they meet their gynae, or if the gynecologist, I mean, with no offense meant to any of the gynecologists who may be hearing us or watching us, or any doctors for that matter, uh, I do understand that sometimes a mistake is made, but to own up to the mistake is where your magnanimity comes. So, what is it that you would want to tell people, that what should they be careful of? And being a doctor yourself, does it make sense to always go for a second opinion, especially in situation where your mind and heart are not in sync with each other?
I truly, like, being satisfied with your questions, because yes, a great dilemma was going on during those days with my mind. Like, I knew when doctor told me that you are suffering from, you have been going with an ectopic pregnancy and you are now with an heterotropic pregnancy. When the doctor told me that you are having a heterotropic pregnancy, being a medical student, I know what is heterotropic pregnancy. So I generally get related to those type of conditions with myself. But it's very simple. It's really very simple to say that being a doctor, you have to be, like very, very strong, and you can, you can cope up with every situation, and you can take any kind of disease with you very normally. But it's not like that. Even we are the human beings, and getting pregnant is the most important part of a female life. And during those days, I was like, why me? I mean, why me? It's a normal question that went with every female, that why me? And I was like going out, ki, I was feeling right, really helpless, and I was really begging my husband कि मुझे बस ये बता दो why me, and whether I should be happy कि I was being a mother, और अभी मैं खुश हूँ भी या नहीं, कि you never know कि 6 months में आके डॉक्टर मेरे को बोल दे कि your child is abnormal and you cannot have this child, so we have to do a miscarriage. And he was like, how can I console you in this? Because being a father, even I am into the dilemma whether to be happy or not. During those days were very stressful. Like, I never met a pregnant woman being getting entering into the motherhood and living the whole pregnancy into tensions, into stressfuls. Like, believe me, Ekta ma'am, being pregnant for 7 months, my pregnancy just lasted for 7 months. My baby is premature. She got delivered at the 7 month only. And while I was, like driving to those 7 months, not even a single day, not even a single day, believe me, not even a single day, I was happy because I was being a mother. Because when I got delivered my baby, just 4 days back, I went with my triple marker test that proven that my baby is okay. And जब वो situation आई कि मैं खुश हो सकती हूँ finally, मैं बेबी शावर ऑर्गेनाइज कर सकती हूँ, या फिर मैं मतलब बेड से उठ के कुछ कर सकती हूँ, I delivered my baby because my water bag burst out because she just have started gaining up the weight, and my uterus cannot exist that weight because of the last operation I had, because those stitches doesn't healed up. And जैसे ही उसने weight put on करना start ही किया, मेरा water bag burst हो गया. So it's very normal, अगर आपका water bag एक particular amount का weight exert नहीं कर पाता, तो आपका water bag burst हो जाता है. So same happened with me. But being a doctor, I knew that my uterus was not at all that weak, जिसमें अगर कुछ वेट पुट ऑन हुआ है तो वो बर्स्ट हो जाए. बट व्हेन आई वेंट विद माय physiological tests, I came to know because of the ectopic pregnancy and because of the ectopic operation, my uterus lining got that weak कि मैं बेबी का वेट ही नहीं पुट ऑन कर पाई. मतलब I am just my weight is just 46, and during those pregnancy I went to 40 kgs, and my pregnancy went with 46 kgs only. Like, when she was born, she was just 1.2 kgs. I really, I really get goosebumps telling these type of situations to other, and just leave these type of things. Basically, what I wanted to say with this conversation is, see, I have there are no offense to any generation, their thoughts and the society. It just I doesn't get some points of our generation, of our elders basically, which is like 22 के हो तो शादी कर लो, और शादी हो गई तो बच्चे कर लो, बच्चे हो गया तो 2 साल वेट करके एक और बच्चा कर लो. और अगर उनसे हम पूछे क्यों, तो उनके मुंह से सिर्फ एक जवाब आता है कि नहीं तो कॉम्प्लिकेशंस हो जाएंगी. सो आई वांट टू set an example. I married at an age of 22. I conceived at an age of 25. I think this is properly normal. Like, properly normal. Everything was going normally according to elders and everything. Then why complications occurred? So I just want to change that particular myth that is going on into the society ki bhaiya conceive whenever you feel comfortable. Doesn't matter if you are 22, 25, 28 or 30. I have seen women getting pregnant at an age of 30, 35 plus as well. So there is nothing like ki if you are getting married, just conceive after marriage because complications हो जाएंगी. नहीं होती. जिसको complications होनी होंगी उसको complications होंगी. मैंने इतनी pregnancies देखी हैं अपने profession में. The woman getting pregnant at an age of 38 have a fabulous pregnancy. Like she's totally happy with her pregnancy. No nozac, no vomitings, no weaknesses, nothing. जबकि उनकी एज में complications होनी चाहिए because you are like stepping out into a certain level of change and changing in the hormones. We generally have a lot of changes in the hormone after we reach age of 35, and you are getting pregnant at an age of 38. Yes, complications would have occurred, but there are no complications. So why getting our getting our motherhood into just one word की बेटा कंसीव कर लो नहीं तो बाद में कॉम्प्लिकेशंस हो जाएंगी. मैम नहीं होता. जब कॉम्प्लिकेशंस होनी होंगी तो वो कॉम्प्लिकेशंस ना आपसे ये पूछ के नहीं आएंगी कि आपकी एज क्या है.
Absolutely right. Absolutely.
Complications.
Yep. Piyu, thank you for bringing this out that it is not the age that determines whether you will have complication or not. I am thinking of questions to ask you honestly. I knew a little bit about your journey, but the more I'm hearing about it, if you're getting goosebumps, so am I, because there is some portion of it that I can relate to. If you conceived at 26, and the example that you just gave, that if people conceive when they are on the other side of 35, which is termed as high risk pregnancy. So that example is me because I got married when I was 36 and I conceived when I was 38.
Oh.
And uh, it is there are many who have asked me that why don't I come and share my journey, which I will, right? Because that is also something that but a point out of that which I had also shared in the group is that when I was pregnant and the first scan that we go through, which is at the 8th week, and when my first scan was done, the then gynecologist told me that there is no heartbeat. And without even telling me that, okay, let's wait for a week because the the 8 weeks is calculated basis your last menstrual phase.
Menses, right.
Now that is never date to date. It could increase, it could decrease. It is never point to point. And because of that, many a times your 8 weeks might not actually be 8 weeks of pregnancy. So without even telling me that, okay, take, maybe we can do a scan again after a week, 10 days. So only word that came out of that gynecologist was do a DNC. Now, I am not a medical student, but I have studied bio and I had always been inclined to be a doctor. But as they say that many a times you go with your instinct, and she did not even permit my husband to come inside the ultrasound room. And I came out, I told my husband that this is what it is, and I just want to leave this clinic right now. The clinic was not too far. We were walking back, and on my way back, while we were walking, uh, sure out of interest, curiosity, interest, and with the instinct that I had, I started doing my research. Spoke to family members who were older than us, and they guided, and then eventually spoke to a very senior gynecologist who was a guy who had delivered many and more children from my maternal side of the family, and she was the one who suggested, "Do you have the symptoms of being pregnant?" So I said yes. She said, "Wait for a week or two, and then go and get your scan." I think after 1 week, exactly after 1 week, we went to an imaging center and we got the scan. And the moment the sonographer had put the probe on my stomach, the heartbeat was loud and clear. Had I not been someone who went with an instinct, or someone who would have made an effort to study about it, or if I wasn't conscious enough about what the doctor is telling me and did not care about taking the second opinion. Today, that precious child is going to be 4 years old, and she was very much born around the same time that she was supposed to. And when I took my report to another gynecologist, because obviously I didn't want to go back to this, and when I went to the other one, she saw the report and she rubbished it because the report said that pregnancy is there, but it looks like a ball of fat. And she rubbished it, and she actually told me, being a co-doctor, I mean, she said, you know what, you should actually complain. Through this conversation, all those of you who are listening, I know I have button and I am not letting people speak about this, but this aspect has to come out loud and clear. We are not at the mercy for
True,
someone to decide our fate.
true.
If you feel something, we go to the doctor with utmost faith and confidence. Do not, you know, make us not believe in you because we do not have much choice. Guide us, suggest us, follow the protocols, follow the oath that you have taken, because you may be a doctor, but somewhere down the line, you are a human being. You yourself,
Right.
if you're a
A
lady
mother.
doctor, you are a mother, and if you're a male doctor, you're a father, or you could be a, an uncle or an aunt to someone. And what happens to people can also happen to anyone. So we have to be very conscious. Through this medium, and Paridhi is also a doctor. I would urge everyone, whoever goes through any kind of medical challenges, please do not get pressurized with what one doctor tells you. If your heart and mind is not in sync, do take second opinion. It is very, very, very important to not just blindly follow because you are at the mercy. And these experiences are many and more, not only with respect to pregnancy. And pregnancy is one thing which, mostly people say is a very seamless journey,
Right.
right? But here there are two people who are sharing that how it can get complicated. I was lucky that things were very much in my favor. I listened to my mind, and there were well-wishers who guided me at the right time. But look at Paridhi's case. The doctors could not tell her that there are two babies. It's understood that one probably had to go because the baby was in the tube, but the other, was also risked because of that. Over to you, Paridhi.
And you know what, Ekta, getting pregnant and not being happy for 6 months was hell to me. Like I cannot be happy. Even I didn't got those experiences. Generally, a female goes out because see, in my I really had a huge family, and I'm the smallest one. So I was the last one to get pregnant. Before that, many of my family members have got pregnant, and they used to tell me about their pregnancy experiences. I was like, oh my god, when I going to be experience such type of things, like carvings, having such type of particular foods, and I didn't have anything because I was not able to digest anything. Like if if just for an example, I have to take a breakfast at 9 a.m. because being a doctor, I have scheduled my diet plan according to myself and according to the situations that had to be given to the baby. So it's very common and it's very important to give folic acid when you are pregnant. So during my pregnancy, I have consumed a lot lady finger because folic acid generally comes up with a tablet that the normal person knows. But as I was phobic to medicines, I have taken and I have just shifted all those products with my home things. So I have consumed ladyfinger, and believe me, like in about 9 a.m. in the morning when I used to have my breakfast, I have taken my breakfast. It just took me about 10 minutes to have my breakfast, and at 9:20 I just have to puke out everything that I have taken in. Like it was my scenario of my body because of operation. अगर मैंने कुछ खाया है तो जब तक वो नीचे जाएगा उससे पहले ही वो बाहर आ जाएगा. I was not able to digest anything, and this happened for 7 months, and my family was like truly supporting me because अब मैंने ऐसी भी सिचुएशंस देखी हैं कि आप तो हमने बैठे हो, मैंने कुछ खाया, हम लोग सब साथ बैठे हैं, मैंने खाया, मैंने लास्ट बाइट ही ली है और मैं आई एम जस्ट हेडिंग टुवर्ड्स माय रूम, टुवर्ड्स माय वॉशरूम जस्ट टू puke out everything, and my family leaving out of their like food, they are coming back to me and they are just like tapping onto my back because I really had a severe vomiting. By doing vomitings, होता है ना जैसे सांस अटक जाती है, तो मुझे इतनी ज्यादा सीवियर वॉमिटिंग्स होती थी कि वो जो जितना भी मैं खाती थी वो यहाँ पे चौक हो जाता था. It usually choked my food pipe many a times. So my pregnancy was like, matlab, obviously I was being a mother, so I was attached with my baby, and I am the daughter of some other woman, so she was attached with me. So my mom was like, तू मुझे तेरी टेंशन ज्यादा है कि तू बचेगी तू नहीं बचेगी. मतलब obviously, see, I am not saying that she is not attached with her granddaughter, but she is. But meantime, she's also attached with me and seeing my situation. She was like, do something with yourself. Come on, you are a doctor. And I was like, Mom, I am a doctor, but that doesn't mean I can work out on everything. Like some things are not in my hand. Generally, these things are not in my hand because believe me, I cannot take medicines. And I was like, मुझे पूरे पूरे दिन में मतलब like for about 7 months, each day I went to the hospital for taking up the injections, coming back, going back again for taking up the injections, coming back, going back again for taking up the injections. Like my husband was 24/7 available for me on during those journeys because he also knew that you never know when Pihu will be in trouble and she has to like depend on you because at during those times I cannot drive, I cannot ride, so I have to be dependent on him by anyhow because I really needed him by my side. And I really hats off to that person because I haven't seen any husband cutting out their work, leaving out their jobs for just to like stand by your wife. My husband, because it is just a god grace that he was doing, he's a chess coach, so he has many coachings as well, and he used to train US and Singapore children's on call. So what he did was he just quitted his job for 7 months. He never went to school for giving out coachings or he's a teacher, and he just quitted his job. He quitted his like coachings, and just to manage the expenditures and just to manage my body, what he did was the whole day he was available for me. The whole night he was available for the US persons. And I was like, seriously, I was blessed because what we female need is कि अगर हमें कोई प्रॉब्लम है तो हमारे पास जो सपोर्ट सिस्टम होता है वो मदर इन लॉ फादर इन लॉ तो होते ही है, खुद की मदर और फादर भी होते हैं, बट जो मेन सपोर्ट सिस्टम एक फीमेल का आफ्टर मैरिज होता है वो होता है हस्बैंड. आप ट्रूली उन पे इमोशनली डिपेंड होते ही होते हो, doesn't matter how much you deny, but internally even you know that you are dependent somehow emotionally onto them. And he was there with me the whole journey, and we share a same bond and we share the same thinking together, and even he thinks. And like with dealing with these type of problems, it was a one day, just one day, I just had a thought and I just asked my husband, अगर मैं प्रेशर में आके 25 एज में कंसीव करने का ना सोचती और 26 या 27 एज में कंसीव करने का सोचती, तो डू यू थिंक दीज टाइप ऑफ सिचुएशंस वुड हैव हैपेंड विद मी?
could not be.
एग्जैक्टली. मतलब इट इज लाइक अगर मैंने सोचा मैंने 25 एज में कंसीव कर लिया अगर मैं थोड़ा और सोचती, थोड़ा और टाइम लेती, 26 में सोचती कंसीव करने के लिए, तो मे बी मेरे साथ ना एक्टोपिक प्रेगनेंसी होती, ना
It
हेटरोट्रॉपिक
doesn't
प्रेगनेंसी
know,
होती.
it doesn't matter, Pihu. What matters is that when your body and your mind is ready to,
Right.
to walk that journey, age is just a
Exactly.
number. Well, I do agree that, because I did a lot of research on this, considering that I was quoted as a high risk for pregnancy because it was post 35. I did study and all those things, and, went through the entire ordeal of you name a test, and I was made to go through that. It is okay. I do agree that your body does take a toll when you conceive at a later age in life. But I completely agree with what Pihu is trying to say, that if the journey has to be tough, it will be tough. What you can do is, what is important to do is to prepare your body and mind before you actually take that
Exactly.
step. And most people, when they don't prepare themselves, they are in for a rude shock. And when those complications come, not only it impacts your mind, but not only does it impact your body, but it has a very, very long lasting impact on your mind. And Paridhi, you did share that because of all this that was going, you slipped into depression.
Yes, I did. I
So
really
how
did
how
because
did you deal with that? What was your mindset? How did you come out of it? Was the face of the baby which brought in that change? And now that she's there, she's 10 months old. She's a beautiful, very beautiful, cute girl. And how has the journey, forget about the 7 months or the 9 months of stuff that you had. How have those 10 months of journey been? And what
oh,
changed your mind from depression to being today the
that
smiley face that we see today?
that was like fabulous, literally fabulous. Like I don't have any words for that because I just delivered my baby prematurely, though prematurely, but when I delivered her, the doctor told me that you cannot see the baby for 4 days. And I was like, क्यों यार, अब तो इतनी मेहनत करके डिलीवर कर दिया, अब तो दिखा दो. And she was like, नहीं परिधि, have patience, you cannot watch the baby for 4 days. I was like, चलो okay, इतना इतना झेल लिया, इतना और सही. And after 4 days, when I went to the ICCU, because she was very small and she was having some breathing problems, so she was just immediately shifted to ICCU because of oxygen problems. So when I went there, I still remember that like I was just drastically changed myself. I have when I have seen her, the doctor were like asked the sister to cover up my baby with a diaper. So, like obviously we know that the diaper size is this much only. And she was so small that the diaper was coming onto her neck. Like literally, वो इतनी छोटी सी थी. And I was with my hubby and my mother-in-law. And I was like, are you sure she's my daughter? And they were like, yes, of course she's your daughter. And I was like, are you literally sure she's a peanut? And how can she was inside me, because she really looked like a peanut to me. And I was like, ये तो चुईया का बच्चा है. So my mother was like, don't worry, because you are चुईया, so your daughter is like चुईया का बच्चा. And on you after till that day and till today, whenever I see her, I don't know, I have given her a name, Pavni and Pia, so I used to call her Pia. But I don't know why I always relate that day with today. And मेरे मुंह से चुईया के अलावा कुछ निकलता ही नहीं है, because till date she's very small and she's very naughty, very naughty. And I was wondering, like, during my pregnancy she used to hit me a lot from inside, and I was like, बेटा तू बाहर आ, तेरे को मैं बताऊंगी. And today also I cannot do anything to her, because when he used to sleep at night, she used to sleep in between us. And whenever she woke up, she used to hit me only, not his father, but she used to hit only me by her hands or by her legs. And I was like, are you serious? But why always be your
Because you're
father?
the mother. Because you're the mother.
See, but
Don't
why
worry.
always
Don't worry. Wait till she grows up a little bit. Let her walk around. Let her start doing all those mischievous things. And then we'll see how things turn. Who is hitting who?
usually? Oh my god, seriously, I am really by God grace, I'm really happy. Like, see, you cannot delete those scenarios from my life at anyhow. Like, no one can delete that passage of my life. And yes, there are some low moods. Everyone get low moods in some day or sometime. So whenever I used to be, like sit alone for some time, just a little, like just a little uh, think passed up my eyes of that miscarriage and dealing up with those things. And just when what I have made it myself into was like, jab bhi I came under those thoughts, what I have decided is just to see her face and thank God that she has been delivered because of the God grace, and because I deserve to be happy, and because I have to be happy because for her. So yes, I was in a depression during those days, but what I have managed now is, whenever I am in low mood, I just look at up her face. She smiled with me and she giggles me, and she's a pretty child. And I just forget and everything when I look at her. Everything, like everything, my stress disappears just like that.
That's what babies do to you. No matter how naughty they are, no matter all the trouble that they, make you go through, but when you look at them, and when, especially at night when they're sleeping,
Yeah.
even if you have scolded them, and whatever, or you stop talking to them or whatever, they, you just feel because you've nurtured them. And Paridhi, your journey has been very, very strong. You have been very strong. And we have Rashmi Sanganeria, who has also shared that she lost her baby boy because of mistake of the doctor, and that date was unfortunately today, many years back, on 1st of October. And there are, I'm sure, a lot of people are conveying their love and saying that you're such a strong woman, you're such a strong mother. And it is very nice to see that having gone through so much in at a very young age, having been exposed to such a traumatic period in those 9 months, having lost a baby and almost losing the other one, but and being unsure whether the baby is there or not there till the last minute. And your own mental well-being got impacted, but today look at you. You're doing
I'm
so
completely
well.
changed.
You're completely changed. Yes. And you're a happy person, you're a doting mother, you're doing exceptionally well when it comes to your career. I keep seeing that not only is she a physiotherapist, but she takes a lot of sessions when it comes to parenting, about how to feed your children, what to feed your children, how to engage your children. And this is a mother of just 10 months old. Would you like to tell us that the courses that you did for parenting, or the antenatal and all those courses, did you do that after you became a mother, or you had done these beforehand?
No, I have done all of the courses when I was in my graduation. These courses were, like I have done every courses 2 years back. And I have been, like practicing these courses during my pregnancy as well, just to keep myself engaged. And as I know that I was pregnant, so I was not giving me any time. I was not giving any time to myself also to think about those days. So what I was doing those days was like busying myself in sessions, telling other parents to how to tackle their kids, how to teaching toileting to their kids, because I am a neurophysiotherapist, and neuro means children's, neuro means abnormal children's, neuro means normal children's, neuro means like the conditions that our elders face, like strokes, paralysis, muscle spasm, muscle dysfunction. So many of the person doesn't even know what is neurophysiotherapy work is all about. Because when I went into the, when I went into the market for just to generate myself, I came to know that you cannot go with the normal children's, because you are a neurophysiotherapist, and neurophysiotherapist work is just to tackle the normal ones. But why not the normal ones? because it doesn't give you a description of not handling the normal ones. Because what I feel, it's like normal ones also need some guidance for developing their motor controls, their gross motor skills, their physical developments. And it's not a tagline with a neurophysiotherapist that you cannot deal with the normal ones, because yes, we have studied the how to tackle normal kids. So I even, can you believe this, I have heard such allegations from other doctors as well, because like they were like, Pihu, you cannot practice these type of things on normal children. And I simply asked one thing. I was like, why? The normal children doesn't consist with a motor skills development, or they doesn't have the gross motor skills, or they doesn't have the physical developments, or they don't want to get in touch with the pre-writing skills. So there is my occupation consists of everything, whether it's parents, whether it's children, whether it's normal, whether it's abnormal, whether it's elders, everything comes under my occupation. And after getting indulged with my baby, I came to know that there are many parents who are unable to, like tackle up their kids, and they want a genuine guidance time to time. And still, I have many patients with me right now who are associated with me since the first year of their delivery till today, and they ping me daily on the daily basis just to ensure that they are going on a right track, that they are fulfilling their children's need, and they know what is good and what is bad for kids. Because sometimes what happens is, the parents doesn't know what is properly good for the baby's stomach and not. But being a doctor, yes, I know what is good for baby's stomach and what is bad for baby's stomach, and even I know the alternatives to keep the baby healthy.
True.
So yes, I take sessions onto that as well. But what I generally believe, and what I am here for today is, as you said earlier, ki you should consult. It's not depending on me or depending on the gynac. I'm talking about any situation. You should consult two or three doctors at a time, depending on any situations, whether you are pregnant, whether you are going for a physician, whether you are going for a pediatric. Because what happens is, we we parents suffer from a lot of dilemma regarding our kids. We females suffers a lot of dilemma regarding our body. So what I feel is, sometimes what happens is, one doctor is not enough to judge your whole body, but two or three opinions are good enough to judge your body. And you will have a great idea that who is better and who is understanding yourself and your body in a better way. So it
True.
depends on with my occupation as well. I usually ask my parents to consult to the other physios as well, because I never say to them that अगर आप मेरे पास आए हो तो आप मुझसे ही treatment कराओगे. No, because it's like maybe they are not satisfied with my things or with my type of work that I used to do, but they might get satisfied with the other one. So I myself refer those parents to the other physios, because you never know with whom your aura gets matched and with whom you feel satisfied. Basically, if it's a relationship between a patient or a doctor, what I feel is, if you are comfortable with that doctor, then only go with that doctor. If your body, your mind, your soul is not at all comfortable, or if you don't have faith in that doctor, please don't go to the doctor, because ultimately you are suffering, or you are punishing yourself in a mental and a physical way both. So
Absolutely.
don't give yourself a second chance of, like हम लोग कभी कभार सोचते हैं ना कि चल अभी इस डॉक्टर को दिखा लेते हैं, आगे कुछ होगा तो देखा जाएगा. आगे का सोचो ही मत, देखा जाएगा. अगर आप सेटिस्फाइड नहीं हो तो just like that switch to the other one, because you never know कि आपकी बॉडी को कौन कितनी अच्छे से जज कर पाएगा. एंड बेसिकली इट्स नॉट अ डॉक्टर पेशेंट रिलेशनशिप, it's about everything.
True. Very true.
आपको
Yeah, that is true. That's very nice. And coming from a doctor, indeed, it does validate that it is very important that we should, consult and we should take opinions. Pariti, thank you so much for sharing your journey. Indeed, I'm sure a lot of people would have got goosebumps hearing what, with the whole tough situation that you went through. And I'm sure there would be many who would have experienced either similar situation or worse than this, or I mean, every situation is different, every pregnancy is different. uh, what the essence of this whole conversation is that conceive when you are comfortable and not because you have to
Yes.
become, or think about becoming parents or getting pregnant only when you genuinely feel for it, because your emotions, your body does give signs to a lot of other things around you. And if you do get caught up in a situation, don't just blindly follow what someone tells you. Seek opinions, read about it, speak to your family members, consult your other doctors, take someone into confidence, and I'm sure कोई भी मुश्किल घड़ी से भी हम बाहर निकल सकते हैं. So
हाँ,
thank
निकल
you,
सकते
Paridhi. Thank you so much. But before I let you go, while you have just 10 months of experience of being a mother, but because you are a coach in terms of talking about parenting and guiding a lot of parents, that one piece of advice to mothers who have toddlers, what is that one piece of advice that you would like to give before I let you go?
Sure. What I have seen while like talking to my parents and while going with my parenting sessions is that because we are in a scenario that we are truly busy with our work, we sometimes loses our patience with our children, which is not at all good, because those children doesn't know what is good and what is bad for them. But being a parent, yes, we know what is good and what is bad for them. And I don't know, while going up with the scenario, even considering myself, even I get busy sometimes, and being a doctor as well, sometimes I do yell at her. I do. It is not, I don't give myself a tag of doctor and not a human being. Even I am a human being, even I am a doctor, even I get frustrated, even I am a mother, even I get frustrated sometimes because of the work pressure. So what I want to tell the mothers, even the parents, or even everyone, like when you are indulged with kids, please be patient, because if you are thinking that you are giving 100% to the children, no, you are not. You, if you are rating yourself to 100, then ask your inner soul to rate you in 90s, because that 10 margin going to help you in the future. Never give yourself 100% while doing any work, while doing parenting, while doing motherhood, because that difference of 10% will always be in your mind, and you will be, like getting up yourself best, and you will be taking out tricks to get to reach to 100%. Ultimately you won't reach 100%, and when you'll reach 100%, think of the, like the solutions that you will be having with your kids. Plus you will be a mother that who will be able to help other women, telling up your examples, telling up your suggestions. So my opinion is, never rate yourself among 100 to 100, rate always 90s, and work for that 10 difference.
That definitely is food for thought for a lot of people. So thank you once again, Dr. Paridhi, as called as Pihu, for being with us, for sharing your journey. And, I should, I mean, I don't want to apologize, but to make you go through that tough period once again, I should apologize for you to have revisited that entire experience. But indeed, it is very, very courageous of you to come up and talk about this so that, people know what exactly they should do when they are in such situation. So thank you everybody who's been watching us, who will watch us, for being a part of the Motherhood Talk Show. So today we had Dr. Paridhi Jain. We shall be back again with another mother's journey very soon. Till then, stay tuned. This is Eka Sehgal Malhotra from the Motherhood Club Talk Show. Thank you for you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you and
much.
take care.
Thank you
Bye
so
bye.
much, and much, much, much love to you and the platform. Much love to you and the platform. You're doing a fab job. Fab
Thank
job.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you
you so
so
much.
much.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye.